I'll get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you very much for being here, for spending a little bit more than an hour with us today. My name is Dr. Cynthia Mejia, and I am the interim chair in the Department of Food Service and Lodging Management. And in our department, we house the courses for the lodging management track, which is why we're all here to discuss today. And so we have a wonderful agenda plan. I want to thank you again for being here. And to also let you know, we will be recording this if you'd like to watch it in the future. And for those of you who will watch it on the recording, we're also glad that you're watching with us. All right, so to get started, our agenda is here before you. And what we're going to do first is we'll introduce our key faculty members in the department. And that will be followed by a presentation on the lodging management track itself, the design, its value, and the faculty who teach those courses. Many of you on this call have probably taken a few of these. And then after that, we have wonderful executives from the lodging industry who have agreed to be with us for this time, who will be in a panel discussion. And so as they present their materials, we do have some questions for them. We hope that you'll also be thinking of some questions that you could ask or write in the chat. But what's really great about this is that we'll have an opportunity in a breakout room with them individually, and we'll talk about that a little more when we get to that part. But you can interact with them one-on-one, asking your questions during this time, and then we'll adjourn and just discuss the website a little bit. So I would like to go ahead and begin our introductions. If we could start off with Dr. Amy Gregory, please.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here. It's nice to see faces again. My name is Dr. Gregory. I've been at the Rosen College just about a decade. I teach the courses in the lodging track that are your required electives, which means that if you take them, they count towards your degree and, of course, the lodging track. But you have a choice between the courses that I teach and other ones out there. So I specifically teach 3273, which is a Principles of Timeshare course. Very important for our geographic location as well as our college for two reasons. You may not know, but 1 in every 4 keys in Orlando is to a timeshare unit versus a hotel room. So we've got a significant presence here, and our dean had the foresight to build that curriculum in and create some partnerships with industry. And so we've got a whole course on that takes you from, I like to call it soup to nuts, which may not mean anything to your generation, but you used to start meals off with soup and end it with nuts. So that's what that means. So it's pretty much a great survey course of that industry, and there's an awful lot going on in that area, and it's got some unique features to it that make it thrive in times like now. And so if you end up in that breakout session, you'll hear more about that. I also teach a course on resort sales, and another one of our breakouts includes Mr. Gary Gottling from Hyatt, who you'll meet soon, and he often comes and speaks about resort sales and what that means. So a whole course on that where you learn about what is sold, how to sell it, what your personal selling persona is. And then I have a resort management course where we look at all of the different types of resorts and how each one of those has different drivers for profitability and operations. And then we also dig into the revenue drivers at a variety of different resorts out there. So that's me and what I do.
Wonderful, thank you. And Dr. Diego Bufkin, you are next.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Diego Bufkin. I'm French and Brazilian, as my name can tell you a little bit. So I've been here at Rosen for the past 5 years, and I teach HFT 2254. It's a lodging operations, an intro course of lodging operations for undergraduate students. I also teach HFT 3263 restaurant management for those who are interested in the food and beverage side of not only restaurants but also hotels. And I've been teaching since this past summer a brand management course for undergraduate students as well. And I also teach a graduate level lodging operations course at Rosen. So yeah, I'm very glad to be here with you today. Basically, before starting my career in academia, worked in hotels and restaurants in France, Brazil, and Spain. And yeah, I'm very glad to be here with you today.
Wonderful, thank you. And next is Doc Terry.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have been working here and working with the students since early 2000s, full-time for the last 15 years. I'm a third-generation hotelier, restaurateur, senior trainer for American Hotel Lodging Association, National Restaurant Association. Spent a lot of years in Europe working in food and beverage and hotel. Love it. 10 years as general manager for Hilton Hotels, 10 years general manager for Intercontinental Hotel Group, and then number of years in consulting. And so I incorporate that into the courses that I teach, which are upper level specific to lodging, as in advanced lodging, lodging franchising, lodging branding, development, which is architecture and development. And so all of those are, as Dr. Gregory mentioned, a part of these electives that we talked about. Also, by the way, putting a plug in for entrepreneurial class that we first won this fall. Very excited about that. And so I love what I do. I have a business degree, so I teach the courses more from a business point of view and hospitality. And that's it. I will talk a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. All right.
Back over to you, Sam.
Yeah. So thank you. These are a few of our faculty. We have many more who also teach in the lodging track, but these three are primarily driving all of the topics and organizing really interesting digital platforms. They were involved in a big project with UCF CDL. So very exciting things going on in the track for sure. All right, so let's now, we'll turn it back over to Doc Terry to discuss the design and the value of the lodging track. And while he'll be doing that, we will have for you a PDF of the different courses that are involved. So there you go, Doc.
Thank you again. Well, we've asked for 75 minutes of your time, and why is that? And why do you care? And why have you taken the time to tune in, so to speak? And the reason is because even though times are a little bit interesting right now, and they will recover. I mean, the advantage I have over everybody else here on the line is that I'm old, right? I'm really old, and this isn't the first time that the country or the industry has run into some interesting times. And I'm so old. It was you know, Vietnam War and the 80s, where the interest rates were 18% and higher. And 2001, when most of you weren't too old at that point in time, and 2008, 9, 10. So this isn't the first time. And the sun will come up at some point in time. The hurricane will be over. We'll get out of this tunnel. If you read the news this last weekend, then you saw that July had some incredibly improved numbers as far as travel and tourism, up 500,000 jobs, food and beverage up 500,000 jobs in July alone, and moving upwards. And so we may not be out of it, but we're certainly on our way. This isn't apocalypse now. We will be there. And you want to, but we will lose some. We will lose some hotels. We'll lose some of our industry, right? 5%, 10% or something. I mean, we will. But the fact is, we retain 90 or 95%. And like musical chairs, there'll be a few less jobs for the same amount of people, and you want to be most competitive. You want to be the best possible you can be. And when you walk into somebody's business and say to HR or say to general manager or ownership, whatever the case may be, I'm looking for a job and I'm dedicated to this industry. And by the way, I'm not only a graduate of Rosen College Hospitality Management, but I also have very specific courses that are geared towards your business, whether that be resort, vacation ownership, or hotels. And here are 7 of them, bam, 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 which we're going to talk about here in a second. So you want to be the most competitive. It'll show up highlighted on your transcript, oh, by the way, here. employer, potential employer. And I have experience, I have internship, I have a great degree, and I have some lodging-specific content from these 7 courses. And so whether you want to be a general manager, an owner, an entrepreneur, lodging sales, real estate management, architecture, risk management, hygienist today, which is becoming a big thing, IT, whatever that is, you are going to be a much stronger person and much more competitive after you have addressed these 7 courses here on the track. And we've talked a little bit about a couple of them, but I'm going to start with order up here in brand management, which is near and dear to my heart, of course. But it's the real world of brand differentiation and strategies and geographics, demographics, psychographics, SWOT analysis, all of those leveraging items, focusing on national and international companies, the experience economy, which we talk about, and the 5 sensory brand architecture. We bring in industry franchisees and franchisors and brand experts that are from independent hotels. And so you get a great view of that from the industry. Number 2 is resort management that Dr. Gregory mentioned. Comprehensive look at different types of resorts, be that hotels, be that vacation ownership. They do some case studies in that particular course. And it's a great look at, as she mentioned, the top line, achieving those revenue management numbers. And then as that flows down to the profit targets, a great overview of resorts in general. A third one that we haven't mentioned yet, hospitality facilities management, is, I mean, there's a building, right? That's our biggest capital investment, right? Millions and millions and millions. And so what is it? How does it come together? I mean, you work in, if you're going to work in the industry, and then the whole premise here is that this is going to be perhaps a lifestyle for the rest of your life, a career for you. That's the premise, is that you would like to know what goes into that building from a design point of view, from a layout and planning and physical plant and IT. And so again, whether it's hotel or vacation ownership and the food and beverage part that's in there, it's the most important asset that you have. And so that course will take you through that, along with little things like ADA and the work order process and OSHA and how do we keep it safe and secure, which of course is quite the topic today, and sustainability. Great course. Third one is hospitality franchising. Love that, because that's all about franchisors, franchisees, the franchising agreement, the relationships, which is the biggest part of it for anybody that's been in franchising, that symbiotic relationship of the two. And is it the right thing to do? Do you want to go out on your own, or do you want to start your career as a franchisee? Development agreements, a lot of legal involved with that, and a lot of brand management also. And then we bring people in from the industry, a Shark Tank approach, and they take a hard look at your proposal for your own franchise, and you create your own. It's a fun class, and you'll learn a great deal. The next one is advanced lodging. Advanced lodging is for somebody who've taken the basic lodging operation management class. It's a great one. You get to know the verbiage. You understand all the different departments, and you get a good feel for group house and individual and franchise, non-franchise, and all of those things. But now we move it up to another layer or two deeper as we talk to owners, general managers, people like those who you're going to meet here in just a few minutes in our industry, who are looking much bigger than the day-to-day basics, but renovations, future projections, new markets, a much broader look from the top down, if you will, an aerial view from the top down. And we take the show on the road virtually and talk to these individuals from, for example, at the Hyatt. General manager there last year, wonderful. But at properties all around Ritz-Carlton, all around Four Seasons, the whole thing, all around town there. We're very fortunate in Central Florida. The next one is hospitality and tourism development. We work closely with a gentleman who's the managing director for one of the largest international architectural developers in our industry. Quite frankly, well, they did the college, they did Shingle Creek next door, they've done a number of things for Disney, and a great deal of their work is in the Middle East and Asia and other parts of the world. Huge projects, billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar projects. And we work with that managing director and some of the 80 or 90 individuals that work with him. And we learn about projects he's working on as we speak, and then you create your own concept, kind of fun stuff. The number 7 one is resort sales tactics and strategies. And as Dr. Gregory mentioned to you, this is her wheelhouse, believe me, just tremendous about this as far as the strategies. And how, I remember as a general manager, for many years I was a general manager because I had some strengths in numbers and food and beverage, and I liked people and so forth and so on, but it just scared the daylights out of me, sales. And I wish I had had a course like that. Eventually I did get one from Marriott, and but if you're afraid of sales, get in that class. If you like sales, get in that class in strategy. So that's where it all starts. 7 wonderful courses to put you at the top of the list when you interview with as a candidate in our industry, and will do you well for the rest of your career. Thank you, Cynthia. Back to you, please.
All right. So I just want to mention one thing that we really have quite a competitive advantage of at Rosen College, and that is our faculty have worked 10, 15, 20, 30 years in the industry. Not only number of years, but quite a number of experiences. So when you're taking these courses, you're not just learning the stuff in the book, right? Of course, we have the book, we have the theory, we have consumer behavior, we have all of these different things, but it's really the faculty who bring all of this into context and can tell stories and can bring in guest speakers who they know because they've been working out there for so long. So this is really a partnership with industry. They support us and we support them, and we do things together.